Welcome back to Your Average Investor, everybody. We're here bright and early this morning to figure out what's going on with GameStop. Not so much what's going on as what we're going to do to play it. Now, if you haven't been caught up with the news yet, let me tell you what's happening here. GameStop is up nearly 100%. It was up 100% here in overnight trading. The reason why is Roaring Kitty posted again on Twitter, as we covered last night, but what I forgot to cover last night was, in addition to posting on Twitter, he posted on Reddit for the first time in years with his new YOLO update. As you can see, he has shares of GameStop and he has calls, and then he has cash in his account. And his shares are only up a couple percent, which means he bought all of those recently. 5 million shares, 120,000 call 20s that expire on the 21st. Total is just absurd. This represents a $174 million position that he paid into GameStop, up 6 or 7 million right now, and he's also sitting on $30 million in cash. An absolutely massive position. In addition to that, he posted the Uno reverse card on Twitter. So we're looking here this morning to say, how do you play this if you want to play it? Again, this is not investment advice, but we're going to give you some important levels to look at in case this is something you want to play. In addition to that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, first things first, let's pull this back out 30 days back, because we want to see what happened 30 days ago, or it was like 20 something days ago, during this last meme stock squeeze. So, pre-Roaring Kitty post on Twitter, we had AMC sitting at about $18 a share or so. Very quickly the next day it popped up all the way to $37 per share before selling off. This is an important inflection point. This is where it sold off the last time, and you can see after this dip, it's also where it caught a little bit before moving back up, struggling the next day right here, and then ultimately selling off over the next couple of weeks. So I'd be watching this level very closely for a support bounce. It's also important to note, if you look at the pre-hours trading here, that there was no major dip. It kind of just moved along, and then right here at 5 a.m., depending on your time zone, that might be different, big rally again. Most likely this is because this is when pre-market trading opens for most people, and so they start getting in. You notice the volume gets massive at this point. These are 30-minute candles, and all of a sudden we have 1.5 million being traded in volume as compared to back here just a little bit. Now, zooming back out for just a second, the next day, we're going to look at the very next day. You can see into after hours it moved, jumps again, no sell-off whatsoever in pre-market until all the way up here when it comes up to $80 a share. Then we start seeing some capitulation, moves back down to this $37, $38 line before moving back on up, and then through the after hours the next day moving down again. So we had about a 2-day window to follow the rally, which I would expect to be about the same. Now, the tricky thing here is, if I remember correctly, there was something like 24 trading halts each day that stopped people from being able to enter or exit GameStop. So be very careful. Recognize that if you do enter, the stock is definitely going to be halted today multiple times. So be ready to get in or get out at the prices that you want to when it is unhalted. Now, let's move back forward to today and take a look. We're actually going to switch this back to the 1-minute chart. So where have we been hovering at today? Well, you can see here the sell-off pinned right at that $37 level before bouncing on back up, and it came down after hitting the VWAP for the morning. So you can see, based on this morning volume, pulled the VWAP all the way up here. A little bit of a sell-off, came up to VWAP, a little bit of a sell-off again. Looking interesting. We're about 30 minutes before the majority of the market can start trading this on pre-market trading, where I'm a little bit skeptical that this does the same thing as last time, as I think there are going to be some bag holders back here who aren't going to be patient enough to wait. Remember, we're sitting at like $40 right now, and so any bag holders here, as soon as they think they can exit, they may just choose to take less of a loss than they were already at. They also have a good number of people probably that started accumulating down here in the 20s that may just want to take some profits off the table. So what I'm going to be watching for is to see around 5 a.m. in 30 minutes, does the price hold steady or does it drop down? And of course, when market opens, this is going to be really interesting. You've got all of these contracts that expire in 4 days. And of course, these are all buried deep, deep in the money now. My guess is when market opens, these call 40s, assuming the price stays around 40, whatever's just out of the money, will be going from anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. No, $5,000 would be too much. Maybe $1,000 to $2,500. Gives you a lot of protection against downside if you're playing covered calls, and gives you a decent return if exercised, right? So if I'm buying, let's just say market opened here at 40, I bought 100 shares and sold this for $1,000 right here. That's going to give me downside protection all the way to $30 per share, which is pretty significant downside protection, and give me the potential gain of 25% over 4 days. You know, GameStop, of course, could go a lot higher than that, could go up to $80, $120 a share. I would not be surprised. Let me pull this back out to the 2-day. Actually, let's go further than 2-day. We're going to go, oh, we don't want to go on this chart. Hang on. We're going to go to this chart. I would not be surprised to see GameStop hitting all-time highs today or tomorrow over the next couple days. If you want to look back again, like we had 120 was the last all-time high, 120.75. I would be very surprised if, based on this news here, right, we're sitting at 37, 38, oh, I guess over 40 now, over $40 a share, and I'd be surprised if this doesn't pop at least to this $80 resistance mark, right? We've had a couple ones here, including the pre-market before, and then push for all-time highs again. This is just begging to be beat today. So that's my update. That's my position right now. I'm going to be watching this closely. I don't have any active position other than the one I've been in for a while, which is I have 100 shares that I sold a call 18 or a call 20 on, and then I've been selling some cash secured puts as well, which will basically be worthless at market open. So I'll probably exit those positions for pennies. And looks like a really interesting play. You know how we're playing it. You play it how you like to play it. Of course, take your own risk, do your own research. This is not any type of investment advice for you specifically, simply education and entertainment purposes. And have a wonderful day, everybody.